White flag is raised. Off and racing in our feature, the brand new Racing Post app Novice Chase, grade 1, over 2 miles in a furlong and running up the straight. Spread across the track, Visionarian towards the left, Hollow Games towards the right, Midnight Run close up between them, just ahead of Fil Dor, and Saint Roi held up at the back of the 5-runner field as they reached their first fence. Visionarian led over towards the near side with the noseband. Goes on from Hollow Games over towards the inner. The grey is Fil Dor, between them Midnight Run, and a few lengths adrift in the early stages is Saint Roi as they come to pass the judge, having jumped one of their 11 fences. Visionarian, Keith Donoghue, a narrow leader. Hollow Games on the inside, Dennis O'Regan, close up between them, Midnight Run in the maroon and white colours, Tom Hamilton. They're tracked by the 4-year-old Fil Dor, the odds-on favourite Jack Kennedy, and Saint Roi at the back of the field under Mark Walsh as they complete the turn. That brings them to fence number 2, Visionarian towards the outside. Narrow leader over Midnight Run and Hollow Games, Fil Dor keeping to the outside, Saint Roi at the back as they continue away from the enclosures to fence number 3. Visionarian leads, pursuing trio close behind. Hollow Games the inside, Fil Dor the outer, and with them is Midnight Run in 4th. And a little deliberate at the back of the field with Saint Roi as they go into the turn. It'll bring them away to fence number 4. Still a good run before they reach it, 8 more fences to jump. In the lead, Visionarian, Hollow Games through on the inside with Fil Dor close to the outer. Midnight Run is with them between horses, and Saint Roi still at the back of the field, but only about 4 or 5 lengths off the leader. And that leader continues to be Visionarian as they reach this next fence. Visionarian by just a length. Fil Dor has jumped up on the outside to go second. Hollow Games the inside. They both jumped slightly better than Midnight Run, and 2.5 lengths adrift at the back of Saint Roi as they continue on to their next fence. The second of the fences in the back straight. Visionarian leads by over a length. Midnight Run has moved through on the inside of Fil Dor. Hollow Games remains close up to their inner in 4th. Saint Roi at the back of the field, 4 lengths off the pace as they continue on to the next, where they have just over a mile to race. Visionarian by 3 parts of a length. Midnight Run and Fil Dor together, a length and a half to Hollow Games, and Saint Roi getting a little closer to the outside as they all jump that one well and head on to the next. They have 5 fences to jump in the brand new Racing Post app Novice Chase, and Visionarian continues to show the way under Keith Donoghue. Midnight Run, Tom Hamilton second. Fil Dor, Jack Kennedy a close third on the outside. A mistake there by Midnight Run. Drops back to dispute the 3rd spot as they continue on to the next. Visionarian out in front leads by about 2.5 lengths. Fil Dor second. Hollow Games moving through on the inside ahead of Midnight Run and Saint Roi as they jump this one. Visionarian led. The Gordon Elliott pair, Fil Dor and Hollow Games, his nearest pursuers, and Saint Roi trying to improve on the inside of Midnight Run. As they head to the last fence on the far side, the ditch, 3 from home. Visionarian leads, Fil Dor the definite second. Hollow Games third. Midnight Run trying to improve again, and Saint Roi very much in touch as they jump it and make the turn out of the back. A mistake there by Fil Dor. Fil Dor dropped back from 2nd to 4th and is driven along as they turn and head for the second last. Visionarian leads, chased by Fil Dor, improving again between horses. Midnight Run the outside. Hollow Games with them on the inner, and then Saint Roi away from the second last. Visionarian from Fil Dor closing in second. Midnight Run is towards the outside third. Saint Roi is 4th, and Hollow Games struggling at the back of the field as they make the turn for home. Visionarian with the noseband. The grey is Fil Dor to the outside. Midnight Run, and poised behind them looking for a run is Saint Roi as they head down to the final fence. Visionarian, Fil Dor in the red and white coming there in the centre, and towards the outside Saint Roi as they near their final obstacle. Visionarian the inside, Saint Roi, and between them Fil Dor on the run in. Saint Roi stands side, Visionarian over towards the inner. Fil Dor back in third, and they're clear. 100 yards to race, and it's Saint Roi and Mark Walsh with the advantage. Visionarian sticking to his task well, but Saint Roi will win for Willie Mullins, Mark Walsh and JP McManus. Visionarian second, Fil Dor third, Hollow Games 4th, and last of the 5, Midnight Run.
Feature race of the day here at Leopardstown on day 1. The Racing Post app Novice Chase has gone to Saint Roi in the hands of this man, Mark Walsh. Mark, congratulations, lovely prize to win. Was it any surprise to you that you turned the tables with Fil Dor?
We decided to ride him differently. The last day Navan I made the run and basically set up for him because we know he stays well, so there seemed to be plenty of pace on today, and we said we'd just drop him in and try and beat him for a turn of foot up straight, and it worked out well.
And Mark, your horse had a bit of time off from competitive action before the Navan race as well. Did you feel perhaps he might improve fitness-wise more than Fil Dor had the run?
That's it. Like he had a prep run, whereas my lad's first run of the season. So you'll always be hopeful that they'd improve from it. And in fairness, he did.
Thought today he was a little bit sketchy over 1 or 2 early on without ever looking like he was going to fall or anything like that. But when the taps were turned on, how happy were you with his jumping down?
No, I'm very happy with his jumping now. I was right up behind the boys, and I think Tom Hamilton's horse made a mistake in front of me, and he was very clever to put in an extra stride and pop away now. He's very nimble on his feet.
And 3 out, Fil Dor made that mistake. He didn't do you any favours. You almost jumped into the back of him.
I landed on the back of him, I landed on the back of him, but it took more out of Fil Dor than it did my lad, so it was grand.
It looked that way. I mean, going to the last, you pulled them wide to challenge. Did you always feel get to the other side and you had them?
That was it. I knew I kind of beat him for a turn of foot, and he was just meeting on an alright stride and just sat up and let him pop it, and away he went. In fairness to him, he galloped all the way to the line.
Mark, we all know what a good hurdler he was. The early signs of our fences are obviously really, really encouraging. Do you think he can go all the way in this?
Yeah, you'd have to be hopeful. He's settling a lot better over fences. He's a bit more respect for him. He's not like last season, the season before. He could be a bit of a tearaway, but he's growing up now and he's starting to settle. And in fairness, he does jump well, so hopefully he'll be a better chaser now.
He's definitely one to look forward to. Lovely to win the big one on day one. How's tomorrow shaping up for you?
Yeah, I have 6 tomorrow. Busy day, so I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, we'll see you then, Mark.
Yeah.
Well done. Cheers.
Thanks, Gary.